we could talk about some of the key things that the government and banks have done to both Bitcoin and Ethereum in order to keep the pressure down on them. The manipulation that they applied to Ethereum won't hold, and it's going to be a very explosive ride eventually. They can't have that happen. You have to understand that they know what's going on. It'll all unravel very, very quickly, their whole con game, right? Because it is a confidence game. If you had the power to print money, I'm sure you find a way to keep that power.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. Smash that like button because today we are joined by a man who's hard to get. He is a Bitcoin OG. Obviously, the reason he's known and famous in the Bitcoin crypto space is because he begged people 9 years ago just by $1 worth of Bitcoin. Davinci J, how are you doing today?
I'm in the 5x5 staying alive here in Dubai. How you guys doing?
Doing great, doing great. Now, 9 years ago, you begged people.
If you really want to become wealthy in the future, I would suggest you take $1 frickin' $1, buy some Bitcoins, put it in a damn wallet, put it away. Okay, I'm sorry for swearing, but you know what? It's just $1. Get some Bitcoins. I'm hoping that every single one of you buys $1 worth of Bitcoins, just $1 frickin' dollar, because you're going to be thanking me for that $1, just $1 of Bitcoins that you purchased.
What was going through your mind at that time? How were you so sure?
Well, I was sure well before that time. I started talking about Bitcoin back in March of 2011 when one of my YouTube subscribers sent me a message on the message board, and I wish I had that message because he said, "What do you think about Davinci? What do you think about Bitcoin?" And I went to the website and I was like, "Oh, scam! You can't solve the double spend problem. I'm a software developer. I know that this is not going to work, right?" And when I read the source code and realized what it was and that it was going to work, my next video was like, every once in a while, something comes along that you could buy really, really cheap, and one day you're going to be super rich. This is one of them. And I went on to explain why, and I thought I was going to be a hero, but no, people didn't get it. Thought I was crazy, thought I was like lost my mind. And so they would always, every time I tried to tell them about Bitcoin, they would always like hate on it, leave like horrible, nasty comments. You can find all those videos in my archives. I have like a link to all the videos, Bitcoin videos from back in 2011. If you head over to Davinci J15 on YouTube, and yeah, you can see them all there. And then, so I got frustrated at one point, and I did that video saying, okay, listen, right? I know a lot of you guys are saying that you wouldn't even put $1 in, right? And I'm like, come on, it's not even the cost of a lottery ticket. That's ridiculous, right? You should try even just a little bit, and you'll see how well this thing will do, because it's in the far off the future, like maybe another 10 years, that $1 worth is going to be worth a whole lot of money that you're going to wish that you got it back in 2013.
Now, obviously, everybody shares that video now saying, man, I wish I would have listened to Davinci. I wish I would have seen that video. Has anybody ever came up to you and said, I saw that video, thank you so much?
No, but here's the thing. There was, back in 2011, I was so confident in Bitcoin. I had a video where I said, listen, anybody who wants to buy Bitcoin, I will back it up with my gold and silver. If you buy up to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and you hold it, I will guarantee that if it goes to zero, that I will give you back your $1,000. And so, yeah, 5 people took me up on that offer. And those people later on, around Bitcoin around 2013, thanked me saying, hey, you know what, I really appreciate it. So they gave me two of them gave me 100 Bitcoin as gifts.
Holy hell.
Let's zoom back in to today. A decade has passed practically. Are you just excited about Bitcoin today as you were back then?
Oh, yes. I mean, even though we're seeing this massive dump right now, where, you know, Bitcoin is right at its latest support level, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will be the money of the future. It will be where you go when you go to the store, to grocery stores, you'll be paying in Bitcoin 100%, because it's a money system that's 1,000 times better than the money system you're using today. 1,000x. Why is it that 1,000x? Is because one, no one can take it away from you, and it can be fast. It can be transferred directly to anyone rapidly. It could also you can escape from bad countries with it without having to worry about the government finding out that you have it. And also, for the first time ever in the history of all the inventions of money, we have 5 different types of inventions of money in the past history, and this is the first type of money where a thing can own money, meaning your refrigerator can own money, your car can own money, a robot can own money, and it can work for you and pay you. Think about that. Shocker.
But Davinci, to play devil's advocate in the crypto world, the Litecoin people say, no, it's Litecoin. The XRP people say XRP. Why are you so sure about Bitcoin?
Well, because Bitcoin has one is the market share of developers and the mind share for one, right? And that's not going away. But the key thing that really makes Bitcoin unique over all the other cryptocurrencies out there is the fact that it has the highest hash rate power, which prevents governments or individuals trying to go, well, you know what? I don't like the transaction there. Like, for example, when Binance lost a whole bunch of money, and there was like one of the things was, hey, can we roll this thing back? And he was considering that. So that's not possible, right? It's not possible to roll back, right, the transactions if you lose the money, right? So that's it. That's perfect. That prevents. The reason you might think, well, hey, that's bad, because now how are we going to, stop people from stealing and robbing individuals? Well, you also, if you come up with a way to do that, you also kind of have a way for governments to rob and steal from you. So this is what we want to prevent, right? Because governments are just today, right? If you don't pay if the government feels you did not pay your taxes and you did, they could take it from your bank account, and there's nothing you could do about it. You're guilty, and you have to prove your innocence. That's not the way it should be, right? Bitcoin restores all that.
Definitely. Not only is it, not only can't we roll back the Bitcoin chain, even if we could, it would not be advantageous, because that would take away something that makes Bitcoin so special. The fact that you can't change it, the fact that it is permissionless and undebasable, and if you protect it properly, unconfiscatable. Totally. I always wondered, because you've been through Bitcoin multiple cycles, did you, obviously, I'm sure you took profits, you're living great in Dubai, but did you hold on to enough of your Bitcoin? Do you regret selling Bitcoin in 2013 or 2017 too early?
Yeah, 2013 is when I started selling some of them. I regret, after 2013, I sold a lot, and I regret some of that, of course. But I mean, everybody wants to take profits eventually, because it's like, I like how people say, you know what, the Bitcoin is horrible money because it's deflationary. It'll always go up in value. So who's going to want to sell it if they decide to hold on to it? Well, people want stuff, right? So they don't want money. They want what it can buy, just so you know. And so eventually they're going to buy stuff with it.
Now, I understand that nothing's exactly the same, but in 2022, if you had to name one other coin that maybe has the same or similar opportunity as Bitcoin back in 2013, what would it be?
One other coin that has the same opportunity right now, or back in 2013?
No, right now.
Right now. Okay. Everybody would ask me that question. And I really default to because the reason why is because right now your audience is like, give me a piece of paper. Write it down.
Spell it out.
So they can run and buy it, right? And And yes, I have one, but unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you because the reason why is because I could be wrong, and you could run out and buy it. I could be wrong, and I'm not going to be responsible for that. So what I just say is basically, hey, you know what? Just stick with Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe even Binance Coin, because those coins are going to do well in the future. So stick with the main ones and save them for the next 5 years, and you'll do extremely well.
Okay.
Now, is there a coin that might do just as well as those three have so far? Yes, but there's no guarantee of that.
Would you give us the vertical? Is it DeFi? Is it play to earn? What genre of coin are you looking into?
You're really trying there. I'm not going to fall into that trap. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
You're the man to talk to, Davinci. That's why we have these questions. But Aaron, let's keep
Exactly.
going.
All right. You mentioned Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has gained so much in just public favor to just protocol development in the last couple of years. It's certainly different from when it came on the scene in 2014. You're not a Bitcoin maximalist. What are your thoughts on Ethereum today?
Well, I believe that Ethereum will eventually outperform Bitcoin. Right now, sad that it didn't do it this cycle, but I should have realized that they had placed all the management tools that they have under their belts to keep the price of Ethereum under wraps. We could talk about some of the key things that the government and banks have done to both Bitcoin and Ethereum in order to keep the pressure down on them. But yes, eventually they can't. The manipulation that they applied to Ethereum won't hold, and it's going to be a very explosive ride eventually, and it will outperform. Why is that? Because it has a greater use case than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's use case is basically just money, but Ethereum has a larger use case in the sense of that it can be replace all of the finances that's going on in New York. So everything that New York can do, what they're doing, options, right? Puts and calls, stocks, whatever, right? Whatever bonds, whatever you want to do, you could do it all the complex finance, all on Ethereum. And once that happens, that's a lot of money and wealth moving in that direction. A lot more than actual Bitcoin can probably see. So yeah, and it all requires Ethereum in order to run. And so we'll probably see it in the future, Ethereum outperform significantly Bitcoin in the future.
Now, you said something interesting to me that I don't think I've ever heard before, that banks and governments are actively manipulating and suppressing the price of Ethereum.
Yes, and Bitcoin, of course.
Why would they do
Would you
that?
like to know how?
Yes.
Oh, well, first off, right? You have to understand that they know what's going on. They can't stop this piece of technology. This piece of technology disrupts the banking system and governments, right? And it's happened before where technology has disrupted governments and governments, right? Before, and there's nothing they can do about it. They could only slow it down. So one of the things they know, because they know that they can only slow it down. How's the best way to slow it down? Well, price. Price tells people, the average person, the average Joe who's busy working, busy doing his job as a lawyer, busy doing his job as a doctor, busy doing his job as a mechanic, what is happening. So if price is going crazy, they're going to say, well, maybe I should take a look at what's going on over there, right? But if price is not going up, they don't have time to study this and find out, oh, now that it's going down, I should buy this, right? They don't have time for that. So they know that they have to manage price in order to prevent people from coming into this environment and learning, oh, shame, I'm being screwed by this monetary system, right? They can't have that happen in a fast manner, because it'll all unravel very, very quickly, their whole con game, right? Because it is a confidence game. Because when you have fiat money that has no backing, it's a confidence game. Once the confidence is lost, you can't get it back. So one of the ways that they do it is through the commodities exchange, and then of course, they're allowing what's it called, for people to lend their bitcoins or crypto to corporations that will give you interest. And the second is basically allowing you to borrow against your crypto. And another way is finally the ETFs. Now I could break down how those things actually cause the price to go down. I don't know if you guys want to go into that, but because it's a long story.
Well, is this planned suppression? Do you think it's more because they want to take out their positions, they didn't get a chance, or they want to slow it down to let the traditional system flourish more?
A little bit of both, of course, because the people behind this, right, who set this up, they also see the advantage that they had by being able to buy the liquidity that they create by pushing the price down. So one of the things they do is they create liquidity for them by allowing people to borrow against their crypto. So now you can like push the price down by borrowing the crypto that people are like, oh, I want to get an interest on my crypto. Okay, I'm depositing it here. Like, so then now they can borrow from those people, dump it on the market, push the price down, and cause a liquidity event when people who get liquidated, who are borrowing against their crypto, and so then they can buy that at a lower price. So that's an easy win for them, right? And right now, 21,000 is the maximum liquidation for Bitcoin holders who borrowed against their Bitcoin. So we could expect massive liquidations around there, and they're probably going to see Bitcoin. It could go if they don't buy it. It could go. Bitcoin could go as low as 17,000 in a flash. But if they're there to buy that liquidity, they'll hold the price up basically because somebody has to buy it when they're selling it, right? So if there's nobody there to buy it when they're being liquidated, then there's price has to go lower until somebody does actually accept the price to buy it at. So that's the case. And this is where we're going. This is where we're headed in the next little while. It's a sad situation, but hey, they've set it up that way. And I think that most cases, what the government does or the banking system does, they don't go, okay, let's plan this how we're gonna screw this over and then make lots of money and so forth, and we're gonna actually push the price down by moving the price, by selling the price, by doing it themselves. No. They let you do it. They let everybody else do it. So for example, when they started with the commodities exchange, right, one of the things that's wrong with the commodities exchange for both Bitcoin and Ethereum is that all commodities on the commodities exchange is deliverable, right? Even gold and silver, even though they don't want you to take delivery, you can get it when you buy a contract on the commodities exchange. You can take delivery of your gold or silver, even though they don't want you to, but you can get it. Also, with, for example, oil. Do you remember when oil went negative? Why did it go negative? Do you remember why it went negative?
It went negative because there wasn't enough people to accept it. They couldn't.
No, because there's no place to put it, right? Once you got to deliver it. Yes. There was no place to put it, right? So nobody wanted it because there's no place to put it. So in order to get rid of your contract, you had to give somebody money to take your contract from you, right? For the oil. So with Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's no actual delivery of the commodity, yet it is a commodity. What? It's the first time ever in the history of the commodities exchange, there's a commodity where you cannot take delivery on. What the heck is that? Right? That's a means of suppression, right? So basically, when people are buying and selling on the commodities exchange, they're basically buying and selling contracts that promises you dollars.
Now, should people be worried about this manipulation in the Bitcoin and Ethereum markets, or it's just par for the course?
It is par for the course because you have to understand they want to protect themselves, right? The banking system to keep themselves alive. Like if you had the power to print money, I'm sure you find a way to keep that power as long as possible, right? Right? Wouldn't you?
For sure.
100%.
Exactly. So can you blame them for doing this?
Yeah, I can. All right, no. Next question. You mentioned that you said that you expected Ethereum to flip Bitcoin this cycle. You expect it to happen eventually. Could you talk about that more? And then also talk about, do you think something will flip Ethereum, like Cardano, Elrond, Avalanche, stuff like that?
Okay. All those coins, like for example, let's start off with everybody's favorite, Solana. I think Solana is going to flip Ethereum. The main thing that Solana's selling point is that, oh, we're cheaper fees, right? And yeah, it doesn't even have an EVM, but yeah, all right, an EVM happens to me stand for Ethereum virtual machine, right? And so, yeah, it's like your cheaper fees is the only selling point. So what happens when 2.0 comes out and all the fees drop to like next to nothing? What Solana is good for? Crashing. Solana there's a ticker symbol is SOL. Sometimes online. Right? So yeah, they're pretty much SOL. not sometimes online, right? You know what I'm saying, right? You know what the real expression is. Right?
Yeah. So it almost sounds like you're an Ethereum maximalist almost. You believe, Ethereum's the best L1.
So far, yes, because what's the point? When you talk about other L1s that are to provide, smart contract execution, a lot of them have what's called an AVM. What is that? Ethereum virtual machine. Where did they get that? From Ethereum. I mean, come on. Come on. Right? And why did you do that? It's to make it compatible so your Solidity contract code runs on mine. Oh, I see. So you don't have any difference, right? Right? Other than I have more capacity to run more applications. Yeah. Well, what happens when Ethereum has that capacity? What are you going to do then? Right? Right? So they're finished. Now the ones that don't have, an Ethereum EVM, right, that have their own contract-based language, they have a massive uphill battle because all the developers know how to code in Solidity, not in their language. What you gonna do? That's gonna be a tight thing. It's gonna be a really tough race for example, Cardano. Not saying it's impossible, it's just saying it's really tough.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you could give us your thoughts on Cardano, because I'm sure there's people commenting right now saying, well, Davinci, you haven't looked into Cardano. Dude, Cardano is the thing, but it sounds like you're critical.
I'm not critical so much as Cardano. I'm just wondering what do they provide extra from other than the normal statements of we're better, faster, blah blah blah, right? What else do you provide that's orders of magnitude better than Ethereum? Can you point to something that's orders of magnitude better? And you can say, don't tell me, oh, more transactions. So yeah, Ethereum's going to have that. So let's discount that. Now what? Right?
What
Unless
about
your orders. Yes?
composability?
Composability. What do you mean by composability? Exactly.
I just know that there's a ton of these layer ones that aren't able to, the dApps everything's not able to talk to each other on the same chain. But I know Radix is big into composability. Cardano is the same thing. Everything's able to happen on one single layer and get it done. I'm no developer, but that's just the buzzwords I hear.
Okay, agreed. Yes, he has a point. So for example, Ethereum, what they're planning to do for their upgrade is create 32 different chains. And because they're separate chains, right, that means that the application on one chain cannot communicate with the application on another chain. That is what you're trying to say. Now, yes, there you go. You do have a point that will be a differentiating factor for example, Cardano, if they can maintain, if they can really truly have large numbers of transactions running, right, and all on one chain, that might tip the scale. So that's why, yes, you're right, that could tip the scale. But again, they have an uphill battle in order to get to that. And I'm sure Ethereum 3.0 will probably fix that in the future.
Ethereum 3.0. Damn, I can't wait. As we close out this this discussion, what verticals or genres of crypto excite you the most in general? Is it DeFi? Is it play to earn? Where do you see sort of the biggest opportunity going forward?
I think it's the play to earn. The play to earn space has not fully been developed yet, and it hasn't gotten its chance to really thrive because games take the real good games, A games take like anywhere from 3 to 5 years to produce. And so once we produce an A game, we'll see play to earn take off. Now, keep in mind, you might say, well, isn't that like these play to earn games are all just Ponzi's? Well, when you say that, right, can you say that a business is a Ponzi? No, Davinci, it earns money. Yeah, it makes money. Okay, so tell me, how many businesses are still in existence from 100 years ago? Not many, right? You can't you can't name any. So were they all Ponzi's when they disappeared because they stopped making money? Right? No, they weren't. Well, the same with the game, right? The game, right, might have a shorter lifespan because it's all about whether or not you can keep the people entertained on the game, right? That's what it is. So in the business sense, it's whether or not you can continue earning profit, right? And so both those things have to go in hand with the play to earn. The business application has to make sense, meaning that they have to make money, and two, they have to have the game actually be fun and playable on a consistent basis. And so, yes, we'll see that happen.
I like it. One of my final questions, Davinci, is I don't know if you'd be willing, but this is what the people want to know. If you had a top 3 to 5 altcoins going into 2023 and beyond.
Oh man. Oh, okay. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance Chain. I guess that's not an altcoin. Bitcoin's not an altcoin. So let me throw in another altcoin. I hesitate to throw in Cardano. I hesitate. The reason why I hesitate is because it will get destroyed in this bear market.
I love the candidness. Can you speak to why you choose Binance Coin? Is it because your belief in CZ or just belief in the world's largest exchange, Binance?
Yes, it's because of the world's largest exchange. I think they have the growth potential of an Amazon, basically, where they'll just continue to grow for a long time and do things like similar to what Amazon has done, where they create niches for other companies and businesses to use to build on top of. And so I see that coming out of finance, and they will dominate that space, right? Just like Amazon has. So looking forward to seeing that happen. And if it does happen, you can bet your top dollar that owning some Binance BNB coin is just like owning a stock.
Now, if you like Binance Coin, maybe you like exchange coins in general, like FTX token.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Those FTX tokens are probably going to do well right. I wouldn't discount that. Yeah, you can buy quite a few of the different exchange tokens. I think you can put a good bet on Bit token for Bybit, because Bybit is everywhere. I mean, everybody has a Bybit link, so they aggressively market their exchange. So you could expect them to do make a lot of money, and so you want to be have a little part of your wealth in that particular exchange as well.
I hear half of the money in Dubai comes from Bybit links.
Yes, that's true. That's so true. Yes, if you only knew. I can't comment on how much they make, but man, look, all if we were to combine all the YouTubers I know, right, it ranges over of several $1 million a day in
Wow.
earnings.
Wow. Outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
Final questions, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just really appreciate this interview with the great Davinci. Links to all his stuff down below. Follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter. I guess, Davinci, final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience. They want to hear from you. You have such good insight looking towards the future, especially because you've been around for so long. Final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
Final thoughts. Well, I think the best thing for you to do is invest in yourself by learning everything you can about a specific niche in the crypto. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's NFTs, whether it's DeFi space. Just focus on that niche, right? And then find the gems in that niche, or also build something in that niche. If you studied it and you feel that you can build something, because you know what, you might be the next big thing.
Appreciate that. Davinci, thanks so much for coming on today. Yeah, appreciate your insight, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
A lot of you are skeptical. A lot of you don't believe in the Bitcoin system, and that's fine. You can stay on the sidelines, but if you really, really want to become wealthy in the future, I would suggest you take $1 $1, buy some Bitcoins, put it in a goddamn wallet, put it fucking away. Okay, I'm sorry for swearing, but you know what? It's just $1. Get some Bitcoins, put it away. Goes to nothing. Who cares, right? You only spent $1, right? You'll get a million satoshis for $1, right? And the way I see it, that will be worth $1 million just at inflation once Bitcoin gets to where it's going to be. So it's up to you. You know what? I know you're not going to listen to that advice, most of you, and it's kind of sad because I was proud of the fact that once at least 5 people have become either millionaires or well off that have emailed me thanking me for recommending Bitcoins. Now, I'm hoping that every single one of you buys $1 worth of Bitcoins, just one freaking dollar, because you're going to be thanking me for that $1, just $1 of Bitcoins that you purchased. But the odds are most of you, 90% of you, are not going to buy even $1 worth of Bitcoins. For what reason? I have no idea. Anyways, if you take my advice, that's great. If not, that's the way it is. As for the guessing on where Bitcoin's going to go in the next 6 months, I think Bitcoin's is in a spiral downtrend. I believe that it's going to go down for quite a bit, bottom out around $26, $20 to $26, and then start moving back up for over the next 3 years. I could be wrong, because if a black swan like Cyprus flies, then all bets are off, and Bitcoins might skyrocket from there. So if you like this video, please rate it, and I hope you enjoy your day.